Money. It's a simple word, yet it holds immense power over our lives. It's the lifeblood of modern society, the fuel that drives our economies, and the thread that weaves through the fabric of our daily existence. We earn it through hard work, spend it on necessities and luxuries, save it for future security, and often worry about having enough of it to meet our needs and desires. But what happens when money itself becomes unreliable? When the very foundation of our financial system starts to crumble? When the value we place on it evaporates like mist in the morning sun, leaving us grasping at shadows. Throughout history, civilizations have grappled with the fragility of their monetary systems. From ancient coins to modern banknotes, the story of money is a tale of trust and its occasional betrayal. From the Roman Empire to the modern era, the collapse of currencies has brought with it chaos, suffering, and societal upheaval. The fall of Rome, the hyperinflation of Weimar Germany, and the economic turmoil in Venezuela are stark reminders of how quickly financial stability can turn into disaster. Understanding how and why these collapses occurred is not merely an academic exercise, it's a crucial lesson that can help us prevent similar catastrophes in the future. It is a vital lesson for our times as we navigate an increasingly complex and interconnected global economy. This essay delves into the history of monetary crises, exploring the factors that lead to financial meltdown. We will look at the economic policies, political decisions, and social dynamics that have contributed to these crises. We'll examine three stark examples: Weimar Germany, Zimbabwe, and Venezuela, to understand the human cost of hyperinflation. These case studies will reveal the devastating impact on everyday lives, from skyrocketing prices to the erosion of savings. In Zimbabwe, families have faced unimaginable hardships as their currency became worthless. In Venezuela, protests and social unrest have erupted as people struggle to afford basic necessities. By understanding the mistakes of the past, we can better equip ourselves to navigate the economic complexities of the present and safeguard our financial future. Economists and policymakers must learn from these historical lessons to create more resilient financial systems. The stakes have never been higher. In a world where financial markets are more interconnected than ever, a crisis in one part of the globe can quickly ripple across continents. Our collective future depends on our ability to understand and manage the forces that drive our economies. As we move towards a digital and increasingly cashless society, the nature of money itself is evolving. Cryptocurrencies, digital wallets, and blockchain technology are reshaping the financial landscape, bringing both opportunities and challenges. It's more important than ever for individuals, communities, and nations to engage in informed discussions about money. Financial literacy and education are key to empowering people to make sound economic decisions. Teaching the next generation about the value of money, the importance of saving, and the risks of debt can help build a more financially secure future for all. International cooperation and dialogue are also essential. By working together, countries can develop strategies to prevent financial crises and promote economic stability on a global scale. The journey to financial stability is ongoing, but with knowledge, vigilance, and collaboration, we can build a future where money serves as a reliable foundation for prosperity and well-being. Before paper money and digital transactions, there was barter. In the earliest days of human civilization, people relied on the direct exchange of goods and services. If you had grain and needed meat, you would find someone with meat who needed grain. This system, while simple and straightforward, had its limitations. It required a double coincidence of wants, meaning both parties had to have what the other wanted and be willing to trade at the same time. As societies grew more complex and populations expanded, the limitations of barter became more apparent. The inefficiencies of this system made trade cumbersome and time-consuming. Imagine trying to trade a cow for a loaf of bread. The logistics alone were daunting. This inefficiency spurred the need for a more practical medium of exchange. The invention of coinage marked a revolutionary leap forward in the history of trade and commerce. Coins made from precious metals like gold and silver began to circulate, providing a standardized and widely accepted medium of exchange. These coins were not just pieces of metal, they were symbols of value and trust. These early forms of money had several advantages. They were durable, meaning they could withstand the test of time. They were divisible, allowing for transactions of varying sizes. Most importantly, they were inherently valuable due to the precious metals they contained. This intrinsic value made them a reliable store of wealth. However, the power to create and control money proved to be a double-edged sword. Many rulers found the allure of manipulating currency irresistible. The temptation to alter the value of money for personal or political gain was too great to resist. Debasement became a common practice. This involved reducing the precious metal content of coins while maintaining their face value. Rulers would melt down coins, mix in cheaper metals, and reissue them. This allowed them to produce more coins without the need for additional precious metals, effectively increasing the money supply. While this might have seemed like a clever solution, it often led to inflation. As the value of money decreased, prices for goods and services increased. The purchasing power of money eroded, leading to economic instability. People found that their savings were worth less and less, creating widespread financial hardship. The advent of paper money brought new possibilities and new risks. Initially, paper money was backed by precious metals, which provided a sense of security and trust. However, the convenience of paper money also made it easier to manipulate. Governments could print more money without the need for additional gold or silver reserves. This newfound power to print money at will was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allowed for greater flexibility in managing the economy. On the other hand, it opened the door to potential abuse. Without the constraint of a tangible asset backing the currency, the temptation to print excessive amounts of money became a significant risk. When governments succumbed to this temptation, the consequences could be devastating. Hyperinflation, where prices skyrocket and currency becomes virtually worthless, was a real and present danger. People would find themselves needing wheelbarrows full of money just to buy basic necessities. The history of financial meltdowns is a stark reminder of the delicate balance required in managing a nation's currency. Post-World War I, Germany offers a chilling example of hyperinflation. The nation, already reeling from the devastation of the war, faced an economic catastrophe that would leave a lasting mark on history. Saddled with crippling war reparations and facing political instability, the Weimar Republic found itself in a dire situation. The Treaty of Versailles had imposed harsh penalties, demanding enormous sums of money that the country simply did not have. In a desperate attempt to meet these demands, the Weimar Republic resorted to printing vast sums of paper money to pay its debts. The result was catastrophic. The more money they printed, the less it was worth. Prices spiraled out of control. What once cost a few marks now required thousands, then millions. Savings were wiped out overnight and the middle class found themselves impoverished. People carried wheelbarrows full of banknotes to buy basic necessities. Imagine needing a wheelbarrow of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. The currency had lost all meaning. The German mark, once a symbol of stability, became practically worthless. Banknotes were used as wallpaper or burned for heat, as they held more value as material than as money. Hyperinflation crippled the economy, fueled social unrest, and paved the way for the rise of extremism. The desperation and anger of the populace created fertile ground for radical ideologies to take root. The Weimar Republic's collapse underscores the crucial link between sound monetary policy, political stability, and economic prosperity. It serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked inflation and the importance of maintaining economic discipline. Today, the lessons of Weimar Germany are more relevant than ever. As modern economies face their own challenges, the specter of hyperinflation looms large. Central banks and governments must tread carefully to avoid repeating the mistakes of the past. Through careful planning, financial reforms, and a commitment to stability, nations can recover from economic turmoil. The story of Weimar Germany is a powerful testament to the resilience of economies and the importance of sound financial policies. In an interconnected world, global economic cooperation and sound international monetary policies are essential. By learning from history, we can build a more stable and prosperous future for all. Understanding the past is key to navigating the future. By educating ourselves about historical economic crises, we can better prepare for and prevent similar situations. Financial literacy and awareness are crucial tools in maintaining economic health. Despite the challenges, there is hope. With the right policies and a commitment to learning from history, we can foster economic growth and ensure a prosperous future for generations to come. In the 21st century, Zimbabwe experienced a similar economic freefall. Once a prosperous agricultural nation, Zimbabwe fell prey to government mismanagement, corruption, and the disastrous policy of expropriating land from experienced farmers. The government, desperate to maintain its grip on power, resorted to the printing press. The result was hyperinflation on a staggering scale. Prices doubled daily, then hourly. The Zimbabwean dollar became a cruel joke. Zimbabwe's story is a tragic reminder that even in the modern era, economic mismanagement can have devastating consequences. Venezuela, once a thriving oil-rich nation, offers another contemporary cautionary tale. Socialist policies, coupled with rampant corruption and a decline in oil production, plunged the country into an economic abyss. As in Zimbabwe, the government's response was to print more money, fueling hyperinflation and decimating the value of the Venezuelan bolivar. Basic goods became scarce, and poverty skyrocketed. Venezuela's experience underscores that resource wealth is no guarantee against economic mismanagement. These case studies, though geographically and historically diverse, share a common thread: the disastrous consequences of unchecked government overreach and the erosion of trust in the monetary system.